Sports Illustrated Chris Mannix talked about there being maybe more buzz around a potential Nikola Vucevic trade than what we thought. We've heard things like there are no trade market for Nikola Vucevic. I've been somebody to say, when you're a veteran and you're an expiring contract, and teams are looking at the situation of the Bulls and saying, hey, we don't really think the Bulls are going to re-sign this guy. Why would we trade assets for him unless, something happens in the season where you feel like you need that, right? So Chris Mannix says this in his article. In Chicago, the endless trade chatter around Nikola Vucevic is expected to pick up. The Bulls finally seem to settle on the direction, building a team around young talent of Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Miles Vucevic, Patrick Williams, etc. Now, I don't know if Patrick Williams is part of that, but there you go on that one. Vucevic is set to make a very tradable $21.4 million on the final year of his deal. Will be appealing to teams to look for more offensive firepower in the front court. So let's see on this, right? Listen, I know that a lot of Bulls fans want Nikola Vucevic gone. Shout out to my boy C-Dub on the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. Go and check them out. He's been beating this drum for a while as far as let's get Vooch out of here. Let's change the style of center that we have here and get a guy that's kind of more, defensive minded, that can protect the rim more, and let's see what that does for this team. And I understand that mindset. That is the kind of picture perfect center that you want on this team, right? Let's make no mistake about it. Now, I do think that Vooch still has his benefits that he provides for this team. Being a consistent half-court threat, being a consistent double-double guy, that does allow some pressure to come off of guys like Miles Vucevic who are developing. I think that. Now, I have had the mindset, and my conspiracy theory is I think that the Bulls are going to shop Nikola Vucevic leading into the trade deadline, as they did Lonzo Ball. And like they did with Lonzo Ball, I fully think that there is a possibility that he signs a contract extension with the Bulls if a trade's not found. Now, that contract extension doesn't necessarily mean that the goal is for him to stay here long term, but it could be a method to say, okay, you don't want to do a deal with us here at the trade deadline because Vooch is not locked in. Bet we're going to lock him to a contract. Let's holler at you in the offseason. And there also is this thought process that if you don't have another starting caliber center, are the Bulls going to let Vooch go? Right now, Vooch has power himself. He doesn't have to sign an extension with the Bulls. He doesn't have to sign a contract with the Bulls at the end of the season. He is an unrestricted free agent. And that is power that we've seen players wield to their benefit every single year, right? And so, Vooch has the power to control his destiny, control how he finishes out his career, because this next contract could very well be his last contract in the NBA, especially if he signs a 3-4-year deal. That could be it. Like, Vooch should be 39, almost 40 by the end of that deal, right? So that's what you're looking at for Vooch. And we'll see what happens there. Now, I do think this. Vooch wants to compete and wants to compete for something meaningful. It could lead him to want to go other places. So